Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Top of the morning to you, Lagos, again. Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to know that you are there. Now, the last 3 months has been unlike anything we can ever imagined in Nigeria, as a matter of fact, in the world over. We have witnessed failed robbery attempts in the FCT this year. We watched Boko Haram team up with a deadlier ally, the Islamic State of West African province ISWAP, to mastermind more deadly attacks, including the killing of more than 50 soldiers in Yobe State during an ambush. It was deadly. We've also witnessed an onslaught of the security agencies against this militant group, killing them massively as well. In late March, let's not forget the kidnappings as well. In early February, kidnappers in Kaduna State abducted 4 seminarians and murdered one of them. Recall also the 37 billion naira National Assembly renovation controversy. Recall? And your reactions to that development? We treated everything here on the Morning Crossfire. Now, late February saw us dealing with the arrival of COVID-19, a disease that ravaged Europe and America, while we tackled more familiar virus of our own here, Lassa fever. It started with just one case. Now the number of cases has risen to nearly 3,000 in about 39 days, talking about COVID-19. With the virus came the loss of lives and its crippling effect on the economy. Jobs have been lost, with speculations of more losses if the virus prevails. Meanwhile, businesses are struggling to stay afloat. In light of all of this, it becomes very relevant to address the state of the nation and where we're headed this morning of the Morning Crossfire. I am Sheriff Quadri. You can watch us live right now on Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3, Nigeria Info 99.3 on Facebook, as I'm being joined right now on Facebook via Skype by Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina. He joins me right now. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
It's good to have you here. Now, for our audience, you can drop your comments below the live stream on Facebook. You can also tweet us at Nigeria Info FM on Twitter, hashtag Morning Crossfire. Feel free to send us your thoughts via WhatsApp as well. We'd like to hear from you. Mr. Femi, let me start by, first of all, stretching out our deepest condolences on the passing of the President, Chief of Staff, and your colleague as well, Malam Abakari. It's a sad loss. It's a huge loss to the country as a whole. Please accept our condolences here on Nigeria Info. Now, having said that, let's begin our conversation this morning by looking at the health sector. We're dealing with Lassa fever before COVID-19 hit. Going by the NCDC's latest report, there are 4,558 suspected cases, 987 confirmed cases, and 188 deaths. This is by far what we are witnessing right now concerning COVID-19. How are we dealing with this, Mr. Adesina?
Well, you need to also realize that you are talking to a special advisor to the president on media and publicity.
Right.
There is a health minister. The health minister has always given an update on Lassa fever and on COVID. Now, if you begin to ask me pointed questions that should go to the health minister, that will not be proper. For me to begin to attempt to answer questions on Lassa fever will amount to pontificating, because that is not my own purview. It's the purview of the health minister.
Indeed. Let's now talk about what will likely be your own purview, Mr. Adesina, and that is COVID-19. Cases have quadrupled in 1 month. I know that there's a presidential task force on COVID-19, and people have been talking exactly as to how we prepared for it, how we approached it. People said that we didn't take measures to prevent the outbreak in the first place, that the elites could be faulted because we opened our borders, we opened our airports when we should have shut the airport, when we should have shut the borders. We knew what was going on outside the country, but we didn't take measures, appropriate measures on time.
Well, opinions will always differ. In a country of 198 million people, you wouldn't think that they all would reason the same way and agree on too many things. There will be differing opinions.
Right.
But like the president said in his first broadcast, our reaction to the COVID-19 is not a case of underreaction or overreaction, but the right reaction.
Indeed. Mr. Adesina, let's go to RSI report. The RSI report implementation has been approved by President Muhammadu Buhari. What necessitated this?
I didn't quite get that.
The RSI report has been the implementation.
Oh.
Yes. What necessitated the action, the order by the president, the directive by the president to commence implementation?
Okay, you know that the RSI report is meant to reduce government spending. A lot of people have always said government must cut its expenses. And if there is a recommendation that will make government spending to be leaner, it goes without reason that this is the time to do it. Because you can see what has happened already to budget 2020 from $56 a barrel benchmark. Oil dropped to 20 to 18 to 17. Government must do all that it can to keep its head above the waters.
How would this implementation work exactly? Can you take us through? Because I can say that I got some breakdown yesterday. I don't know how valid those breakdown, the merger of these agencies and parastatals are. I'm seeing PTDF, PPPRA, and PEF being merged together, NIPC, ICRC, and CP. Can you confirm all of these mergers?
No. You need to also know the things that are within my purview and those that are outside.
Okay.
The president directed head of service of the head of the civil service and the secretary to the government of the federation to work on that. I should not come and start speaking on what they have not even worked on.
Right.
The RSIA recommendations are recommendations.
Okay.
It was reviewed by the Goodluck Jonathan government. Some were accepted, some were rejected. So the president, having passed it to head of the civil service and secretary to the government of the federation, they need to come up with fresh recommendations, which the president will now sign off on.
Before we get back to,
if they haven't come with those recommendations, I can then begin to speak on them.
Oh, okay. So, but you are not aware of this list that I have here.
I am aware. I've seen it. I've seen it.
Is it genuine or fake? From what you?
No, I don't. The RSI panel report is a public document.
Okay.
It has been public since under the Goodluck Jonathan administration.
Right.
So it's a matter of those who have been entrusted with working on the recommendation to come up with what will be a final, clean copy of the document.
Indeed. Now let's graduate further now, Mr. Adesina. On the occasion of the World Press Freedom Day, it was celebrated. It's celebrated every May 3, and President Muhammadu Buhari reiterates he said he commended the Nigerian media. He said, let me. Well, you are aware. I mean, yeah, you're aware of what he said. Yes. I want to ask a very direct question. When are we going to have presidential media chat? If the president recognizes the important role of the media, of the press in government, why haven't we had presidential media chat?
Well, there are many ways to kill a snake, as they say. The fact that some other presidents in the past did what is called a media chat does not mean every president must do it. The fact that President Donald Trump of America takes to Twitter does not mean every president must use Twitter. There are many ways to communicate. And different platforms of communication are being used by this president. He has his media office, he has the Ministry of Information, he has the different ministers. There are many ways to pass information. And I dare say that there is enough information out there about government and its activities. So if this president elects not to have a media chat like his predecessors, it's a matter of style.
Okay.
you talk as if he has never had one. No, he had one.
Okay.
He had one in December 2015.
Mm.
Okay, but then every president has a right to determine the style that he wants.
At that time, he had one. There was no determination as regards his style then, right?
No, it was the first year in office. It was December of 2015.
Right.
He came in May 29, 2015. So we just said, okay, let's have a media chat, and we had it. Then going forward, if he decides to change style, it's his right.
Did the president decide to change style, or his cabinet decided to protect the president by not allowing the president to speak to Nigeria? Because when you speak to the president, you speak to Nigeria.
That is not right. So it couldn't have been his cabinet that was protecting him. The cabinet had and has nothing to do with the presidential media chat. That is solely the responsibility of the media office of the president.
Indeed. Let's quickly talk about, let's come back to COVID-19, Mr. Adesina, because that's the biggest issue right now in the country. I will start with this particular issue that we are faced with right now. PwC predicts COVID-19 could knock 10% off the GDP of Nigeria. And as a matter of fact, unemployment could jump as high as 35%. Experts have also said that COVID-19 will worsen Nigeria's unemployment crisis. I want to know from you, Mr. Adesina, and Lagos is listening to you, what is Mr. President's plan to avert this? People have already started losing their jobs. What is the plan to cushion this effect?
Well, first, let me say that it is not just Nigeria, it's a global phenomenon. The global economy is going to be in crisis. IMF, World Bank, all of them have made their predictions. As dire as the predictions are, the prospect for Nigeria is not as bad as that, because the prediction is that Nigeria may go into recession in 2020, but it will come out of it in 2021.
Right.
That is the projection. But then, what has the president done? Recall that what is called the Economic Sustainability Committee has been set up under the chairmanship of the vice president.
Right.
The purpose of that committee is just to work during COVID and to project ahead post-COVID so that the economy does not suffer too much bashing. But in terms of bashing, yes, it will come, because we are part of the global system, and the global system is under barrage economically from COVID-19.
What I'm asking specifically, Mr. Adesina, is what is the plan for those that have lost their job and those that are about to lose their job? In some of the climes, I mean, palliatives are being provided for these people. Yeah.
We cannot be talking about individuals now. Rather, we should be talking about policies that will ameliorate the situation. And that is part of the brief of the Economic Sustainability Committee.
Indeed. I would quickly move on from there. Let's talk about more as regards palliatives. And I want to take you up on social investment programs right now. The president increased the social investment register from 2 million to over 3 million. And Nigerians are talking about, this is not the time to say that you're taking care of the poorest of the poor when we have about 80 million poor Nigerians. Then we're taking care of about 3.2 million or thereabout. What is your thought exactly as regards
Okay,
this?
fine. The 80 million you mentioned is just something that came out yesterday.
Right.
From the National Bureau of Statistics.
Right.
But it's not as if government was not aware that there is a large population of poor and unemployed people. When APC was campaigning in 2015, the figure they used was 35 million unemployed youths. That's youths only,
Right.
not total Nigerians. So
Right.
government had always been aware that that population was there of poor and unemployed people.
Right.
And when you talk of the social register, 2.6 million to 3.6 million, not people, but households.
Right.
is not increasing from 2.6 million to 3.6 million people, households, knowing that each household may have between 4 and 6 people. So that figure, you actually times it by between 4 and 6. Now, this is a country where in the past we didn't even have any social register at all. We didn't have until this government came.
Right.
The social investment program began in 2016. So you, from a zero position, a position in which you didn't have any social welfare register,
Right.
you now have it increasing to 3.6 million households. I think it's a step forward, and if we continue to move forward like that, the country will not be the same again.
Indeed. About a week ago, Mr. Adesina, the IMF Executive Board approved $3.4 billion in emergency support for Nigeria's fight against COVID. Also, just recently, $311 million Abacha loot has been recovered, which you say will be used for construction of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. I want to have this conversation with you because Lagos wants to know this. Between 1999 and 2015, about $5 billion was recovered, which the government is yet to account for. A Freedom of Information request demanding records that shows the exact amount of funds looted by Abacha and the spending of recovered funds so far was sent to the Attorney General. And 2 months ago by Serap, that was 2 months ago by Serap. Now, this is the reply. Let me just give you the reply the Attorney General gave. He said, and I quote, "We have searched our records and the information on the exact amount of public funds stolen by Abacha and how recovered loot was spent from 1999 to 2015 is not held by the ministry. That the ministry cannot say much about it." We seem to have a problem with accountability, especially for public funds, expenditure of public funds. What guarantees do we have this time, Mr. Adesina, that these monies will be spent appropriately?
Well, the guarantee we have is that it's a different government made of different people. And one of the strengths of this government is transparency and accountability. Before the money ever came in, it had been stated that it will be spent to complete Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, to complete Abuja-Kano Expressway, and to complete the second Niger Bridge. That already is accountability even before the money came in. And eventually, at the end of it, when this government is winding down, the public will sure have access to how the money has been expended. You can't compare one government with the other because they are different institutions. Between 1999 and 2015, this government is not answerable for it, particularly the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, since it's not the custodian of how those funds were spent.
Indeed. Mr. Adesina, let's get to hear from Lagos on if Lagos has got questions for us this morning. 0700 993 993 993. I have Mr. Adesina on the line on Skype this morning. If you are not on Facebook, please go there so you can join the conversation. You can drop your comments there on Facebook and we will take them as we have them. Let's go to the lines right now. And please, when you're calling, you have to speak up and reduce the volume of your radio. It's very important you do that. Always very important you do that before you calling into the show. You can also send your questions via WhatsApp. The WhatsApp line is 0809 597 5805. That is 0809 597 5805. Reginald is joining us this morning. Reginald, good morning to you.
Hey, Sherry, morning.
Good morning to you.
Morning. Mr. Adesina, good morning, sir. Hello? Are you there?
Go on, Reginald. Go on. Just drop your question. We're listening to you.
Let me ask your guest just a straight, direct question. Talking about accountability, how much does President Buhari spend in that problem he had the other day? How much does he spend? Nigeria want to know. Total package amount is spent.
Spend where? Where?
Talking about transparency. Thank you.
Spend where, Reginald? Your question is not clear.
Okay, hello.
Your question is not clear. How much is President spend where?
The other time he went for something in England. how much does it spend for the a total package of the spending? How much does it spend? Nigerian money, how much does it spend?
Okay, Reginald, thank you for your thought. Let's talk to Ibikunle very quickly. Hi, Ibikunle, good morning to you.
Hello, Shirley.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. I want to, as a school principal, I run a school. And anytime I come on assembly ground, I ginger the spirit of my students. I want to ask Mr. Femi Adesina, and if he doesn't have the answer, I want him to encourage the president to come out and speak to us.
Ibikunle, just ask your question.
Yes, when is the president coming out to address us, as in to have a media chat with the press, so that from there he can speak to us?
Okay, Ibikunle, thank you for calling me. Mr. Adesina.
Thank you. I just want to encourage Mr. Ibikunle not to continue to sound like a broken record. When this COVID thing began, President should talk to us, President should talk to us, President should talk to us. He has had 3 national broadcasts within about a month. What else do they want? What else do they want? Some people think because either you elected a president or you didn't elect him, you must lead your president by the nose. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. The fact that you have elected a man does not mean then you begin to order him around. The president will do whatever is good for the country at any given time.
Mr. Adesina, isn't the president elected by the people? Isn't he responsible to the people?
He is quite responsible to the people, but the people don't have to lead him around by the nose. That's what I'm saying.
So, let's go on a break. Please stay on the line. Let's go on a short break, very quick break. I'll take more of your calls and your comments much later on. It's just a few minutes, less than 2 minutes break. We'll be back after this, Lagos. If you're just joining us, Mr. Adesina, special advisor to the president on media and publicity, is joining us via Skype this morning all the way from Abuja. We're back after this short break.
Stay locked. Stay tuned to your favorite dial.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Absolutely. This is the Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Good morning, Lagos. If you are just tuning in, welcome. We have on the line special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina. He joins us on Skype. If you're not on Facebook, please go there. I'll be taking questions from Facebook any moment now. But we need to take more calls this morning. And if you're calling us, please turn down the volume of the radio. It's important you do that. Please turn it down completely and ask your questions. Please do go straight to the point because we like to take as many questions as possible. 0700 993 993 993 is the studio line. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name?
Isaac.
Welcome, Isaac. Where are you calling from, Isaac?
From Lagos.
Go on ahead with your question, Isaac.
Yes. I just discovered that your time with Mr. Adesina, it's a wasted time. He tried to dodge all your questions and what people were trying to ask him.
Isaac, can you go straight to your question?
Every record-keeping Nigerians, we expect what Mr. Adesina has said. So there is no need wasting people time, wasting people money, asking what the answer that will never come.
Isaac, thank you for calling. I appreciate it. Let's leave room for those who want to ask questions. Please, I'm begging. It's important that we just ask. There are people that have questions to ask. Ladipo, you say hi. Oh, Ladipo, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sheriff. Good morning, Mr. Adesina.
Thank you.
My question to you is this, sir. You said people don't have to order the president around to do this and that. Don't you think, sir, on a moral ground, that the president is supposed to have a media chat where you'll be able to answer questions, especially on this present crisis on ground, instead of giving us a pre-recorded broadcast once in a while? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ladipo. Mr. Adesina.
Thank you. It's a matter of opinion and a matter of style. If the president chooses to adopt the broadcast style, that is his style. If you recall school days, depending on what you studied, in the stylistics class, you are told that style is idiosyncratic. What does that mean? It differs from person to person. That is the style of this president. Another president could come and he will adopt a different style. So the style that this president has adopted, let's accept it and let it suffice for us. There was a time they say he was not speaking. And then within a month, he made 3 broadcasts. What else do people want, really?
Okay, Mr. Adesina. Let's talk to Samuel. Hi, Samuel. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Can you speak up, Samuel?
Good morning, Sheriff.
Where are you calling from, Samuel?
Yanasash.
Okay, I was trying to get the name of that Yano. I couldn't get the sash well. Samuel, go ahead with your question.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Femi.
Thank you.
Actually, I want to ask, why is it that our president, his speech is not always live speech? Like the last speech that he gave was leaked. I want to know why. It was leaked. Even as he was reading it on the television, I've already read it on the internet. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel. Mr. Adesina.
Well, that has been explained.
He said, why is it that the president's speech, is never live?
Yes, I'm coming to that. There are 2 things in what he asked.
Right.
He said, why is it that he had already read it on the internet? What he read on the internet was not the authentic version of the broadcast. It was an early version that a mischief maker got hold of and released on social media. And there were so many discrepancies between that version and the final version. And then, why is it not live? Not all broadcasts are live. Not all broadcasts are live. Presidential broadcasts are really live. They are really live. They are pre-recorded 1 or 2 hours before broadcast. Presidential broadcasts are really live.
Mr. Before we move away from that, I have the question that the last caller asked earlier, and I want to let's expatiate further, Mr. Adesina. Who is this person you tagged public enemy, or the enemy of the state? Who is this person?
The security agencies are working on it, and Nigerians will be brought up to speed eventually, because that person will have his day in court.
Is this person connected to the presidency in whatever way? Because I'm wondering, Mr. Adesina, hold on, Mr. Adesina. I'm wondering if you and your team gathered together to put a speech together. How did it get out from your team? It must have gotten out from your team.
You also didn't. You also probably didn't read what I wrote,
right?
Or interviews I had granted earlier. Presidential broadcasts are generated from the relevant agencies or ministries or parastatals. They are not necessarily generated from within. This was on COVID. there is a presidential task force on COVID.
Right.
So it stands to reason that it will be generated from that task force. So it was the generated text that somebody now released to the social media. And that text had gone through many modifications, many. And that's why there is a huge discrepancy between what was released and the authentic copy.
Let's talk to Chima. Hi, Chima. Good morning to you. Chima, are you there? I don't think Chima is there. Chima is gone. Let's speak another call. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
So, D. Emmanuel Iheme, I'm calling from Ikorodu in Lagos.
All right, you've got a question.
Femi Adesina, good morning.
Good morning.
Honestly, it is very important that we inform here that a president that was elected by Nigerians can be called to be spoken to Nigerians at any point in time. And it beats my imagination that each time you are being interviewed, the way you speak to Nigerians as though Nigerians are just used tissue paper. These things are not good at all. You understand? And for you to come here with your level of education,
that is the way you
to tell
see yourself. If you choose to see yourself as used tissue paper, then I can't help you.
Okay.
That is the way you choose to see yourself. But Nigerians are dignified. They are people of dignity. But if you see yourself as a used tissue paper, I can't help.
Let's speak with Prince Wires. Hi, Prince Wires. Good morning to you.
Thank you, Mr. Seri, for bringing Mr. Adesina to the studio through phone. Mr. Adesina, good morning to you.
Prince YS from Amu Wodofi. Good morning, sir.
Thank you. You are in Abuja. We are hearing your voice in Lagos. Glory be to God. Now, my question is this, sir.
Thank you.
You know, there's a lockdown in Lagos, Ogun, and Abuja. Now, the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, instead of sharing money in Lagos, he was sharing money after Abuja. You see Meduguri, you see Kasina. Why not in Lagos? That is my question. And again, finally, these palliatives they were talking about, they increased from 2 million to 3 million. The last week, this of the surprise, they increased by 1 million. Now, we did not see this in the southwest here or southeast. Why? That's my question, sir.
Thank you, Prince Wires, for calling. It's additional.
Yeah, please, can you just summarize his question for me again?
Yeah, he wanted to know why the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Social Development went to shared money, the palliatives, the SIB program in other places apart from Lagos, which is, of course, the epicenter of the COVID.
Well, I wouldn't know, because if it's done by the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, she will be the best person to answer that question. All I know is that the minister is responsible to the president. And at the end of all this, she will submit a report to the president. That is the point in which I then could comment on it.
Okay.
I can't comment on what the minister has done because she is yet to submit a report to the president.
Right. Amadi is here. Amadi, hi. Good morning to you.
Morning, sir.
Morning. Where are you calling from, please?
From Idumu, sir.
Okay. All right. Go on ahead with your question.
I want to ask Mr. Adesina, the spokesperson of the president, an issue relating to the last time there was a fire incident in 4 places. And up to now, no report, no issue, not even accountable of what happened has been made to Nigerian. Palliatives were being shared. Money were had from Abuja. People were being given money. Can he expatiate on, explain to Nigerians?
Amadi, Mr. Adesina, did you get the question Amadi asked? Yes, please.
No, I didn't get it. Maybe you could summarize what.
Yeah, I was trying to get this question. He talked about fire incidences. He said nothing was heard about them. He also talked about, sharing of, I can't pinpoint exactly the fire incidences he was talking about. Maybe the Attorney General's, office or something.
Accountant General.
Accountant General's office.
Yes. So unless we know what he was pushing at in terms of question, it's going to be difficult to answer.
Let's talk to Orelua. He's here. Hi, Orelua. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning to you.
Yeah. Sorry, I just want to say something to Mr. Adesina. Yeah, this is national broadcast and the whole Nigeria is listening to you. I don't see the reason why you should talk to us with all this ego and arrogance. Sincerely, you are speaking with Nigerians, so you have to at least give us some respect. You're answerable to us. Yeah, we elected the president and you are appointed by him. So whatever it is that we are asking or they are talking to you about, you should be able to at least answer us with respect. Saying someone is sounding like breaking record or someone is they refer to himself as tissue paper and you can't help that. You don't have to talk to us like that. I don't know why this arrogance and everything. I don't know.
All right, Lua, thank you for calling. Mr. Adesina.
Just congratulations to Orelua. If that's the way he sees himself, he's welcome to it. Thank you.
Exactly, Francis. Hi, Francis. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Sheriff. Good morning, Mr. Adesina. I've been trying to call since. I wanted to ask this question. You asked a question about the unemployment increase in the nation during this COVID-19, and you answered that the government has been doing your campaign that the people campaigned with 35 million people. So I was trying to understand, if you are campaigning with 35 million unemployment rate in Nigeria, and now we are getting a report that has
No. The premise,
which we know very much that it is more than that. And you are telling us that you are trying to use the social policy or what is it to give money to 3.6 million families, and which I have gotten information that the money that they give to those families are 5,000. In your thinking, those 5,000 naira, can 5,000 naira feed a whole family for a whole month before the next 5,000 naira is coming? And what policy can that money help a family who doesn't have anything doing?
Francis, I hear your questions, but just to be clear,
let me complete.
No. Just to be clear, because you're taking too much time, Francis, with your question. Just to be clear, right, Francis, you're done. You're done. Actually, you're taking too much question. It's taking too much time. Just to be clear, Francis, Mr. Adesina did not say 35 million, whatever you're saying. He said 25 million unemployed youths. That is what he said. I would hate for us to misinterpret or try to alter the statement on this show. This show is not for that. If you've got a question, a valid question, I am here to welcome those questions. Mr. Adesina is here to answer your question. So let's just go straight to the point and ask these questions. Edward is here from Ejigo. Hi, Edward. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Sheriff.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. Yeah, please, you see, what we are passing through in this nation is better to go straight and say it. Please, let Mr. Adesina pass our message to the president that things are not working well in this nation. We need him to address the problems of this nation. People are suffering. And when we say that you should come and tell us something, Adesina will be telling us that he has spoken 3 times or 4 times. It doesn't matter. Anytime we want him to talk, let him come and tell us. Whatever that is happening in this nation, we are not feeling comfortable. Please, Mr. Adesina, pass our message to the president. Tell him if he cannot do that, let him resign. Please. We are not comfortable anymore. Thank you.
Thank you, Edward, for calling. Appreciate your time. Really, every call is important. Let's see who we have here. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Sheriff. This is Richard from Ikoyi.
Welcome, Richard.
Yeah. My direct question to Mr. Adesina is that what has happened to Dazuki and this other shite guy? Why is Buhari still holding on to them despite court judgments on their release? Why is he holding on to them?
All right, Richard. All right, Richard. Richard, I'm sorry. We need to make this very snappy and quick. Mr. Adesina.
Yes, thank you. Let me respond to the Edward guy that first spoke. 2023 is another year for election. He can run. Who says he can't become president? So when he runs and he becomes president, he can then adopt his own style. Our president has a style, and that is the style he is using. The other one, Dasuki and Zakzaki. The Attorney General has spoken on this many times. And what the Attorney General says suffices because he's the chief law officer of the country. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to Facebook very quickly where we're streaming live as we speak. I'll take a few questions. Then Mr. Adesina can respond to them. Olaiwola Tosin Omolola on Facebook says, please, what's stopping us from digging into the books and figuring out how the Abacha loot repatriated before this administration was spent? Is that an impossibility, Mr. Adesina?
No, I don't think it's an impossibility. I think it can be done if a forensic audit is carried out.
Are we planning to do such? Is there any plan to do such?
Well, maybe the finance ministry or other people in that sector. If it's considered a priority by government, why not? For the NDDC is going through forensic audits now.
Right.
And is spanning over many years. So if government decides to do a forensic audit on how the Abacha loot repatriated between 1999 and 2015 was spent, I'm sure it can be done.
Indeed. Let's get back to the telephone. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, on to Chima.
Good morning. Chima, right?
Yeah, Chima from Preston.
Okay, Chima, go on ahead.
Quickly, I want to ask Mr. Adesina this morning. The style of the president. He's talked about it a couple of times this morning. Now, Nigerians, the enlightened Nigerians, we are not cool with the style of the president. Always talk to us. Engage us via a media chat. We have questions to ask the president directly. This is not to play the devil's advocate. I'm talking to about Mr. Adesina. Pass our message to the president. Nigerians want to have a chat with you. Your style is good, yes, but it's not cool with Nigerians. Thank you.
Thank you, Chima. Mr. Adesina.
Well, we seem to be going around in circles on this matter. And the position is that the president has adopted his own style. And that is what we have for now. Another president can come and adopt another style. He will have a right to it. All those who are clamoring, talk to us. He didn't talk earlier, they were clamoring. He has had 3 broadcasts, they still are clamoring. It shows that head or tail, you never win with some people. If you talk to them every day, they say you are talking too much. You don't talk enough, they say you are not talking enough. So, head or tail, you never win.
Indeed. Ezedum has been on the line for some time now. Ezedum, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Quadre. Good morning, Femi Adesina. I am Ezedum from Ture. Quadre, you are great. 2 questions I have for you. The first one is the suspension and the ban of Punch and the AIT from covering the State House. Is it right to suspend a media house from carrying out their constitutional duty? The second question, sir, as the spokesman of the president, what did you make of the inability of the Minister of Health, Mr. Enahere, to provide answer and feedback on the whereabouts and of the former chief of staff when he was in Lagos, where he went asked as a reporter the whereabouts of the former chief of staff. Rather, the Minister of Health thanked on the reporter because he asked the reporter whether he knew if the question could put him in trouble.
Right.
As spokesman of the president, what do you have to say that a minister is unable to provide an answer when by a reporter were about the former chief of staff. And what efforts did you put to ensure that the AIT and the Punch newspaper were allowed to do their constitutional duty in State House? Thank you very much, Quadri. You are great.
Thank you, Zedim, for calling. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. There's nothing like suspension of any media house from State House. There's nothing. We have explained it, but unfortunately, some people just hear go, they don't hear come. When something happens and you explain, they still stick to the erroneous one that they had. This is the position. In the State House Press Gallery, you have about 110 journalists covering different media houses, print, electronic, online, different, about 110 of them, inside a hall, a small auditorium. Now, when this COVID crisis began, and there was the need for social distancing, we said it would be counterproductive to have over 110 people in that auditorium. What can we do to help them? Because one person gets infected and it spreads it to 110 people. What can we do to help them? We met with the chairman of the State House Press Corps, and we said, pick a certain number to cover print, to cover electronic TV and radio, and to cover online. We gave a maximum figure of 16. Pick 16 people who will be representative of the media. And they brought the list. So those 16 people for this period are the ones that can come inside the presidential villa to cover events. And they would then share with the other people who are not there. Does that mean suspension? I think I need to be educated if that means suspension.
Right.
It's for their own good. It's for their own good. For now, stay out. When the situation is conducive, return. So does it mean suspension? I don't understand.
Yeah,
then there is the second part to his question.
The second part to the question. Oh, I can't remember that.
Oh, yes. He was talking about the health minister not confirming that the chief of staff had coronavirus. It's a question of ethics. Under medical ethics, it is only somebody suffering one ailment or the other who can authorize you to speak out on his behalf. Without that authorization, you are in breach of the ethics of the medical profession. So the health minister is a health professional, medical professional. He could not have said it until the chief of staff himself issued a statement saying, "This is what I suffer."
Isn't that supposed to be in the for the sake of public interest? The latest chief of staff.
No. Hippocratic oath, which all doctors swear to.
He wasn't his doctor, was he? Because Hippocratic oath is about you and your patient, the doctor and the patient.
Forbids a doctor. Yes, it forbids a doctor from revealing what ails a patient.
But what I'm saying, Mr. Adesina, is that late Abekari wasn't Dr. Hanire's patient, was he?
No, he was somebody's patient. He was a doctor's patient. And when it was time, it was late Abekari who voluntarily disclosed what he was suffering from. That is the way to do it.
Okay, let's speak with Darlington. Hi, Darlington. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. Yes. My question goes to Mr. Adesina because I've been listening to this program. Honestly, I am not happy the way he replies to people because we are all citizens of this nation. We voted for Mr. President. And this is not military regime, whereby when people end their view, you attack them. That is not how to do things. I believe the government sees him to be a qualified person before they employ him to mount that role. The bigger person is spokesperson to the president. So when people ask you questions, if at all the question is offensive, tell the person noted, we'll work on it. No, you've been attacking your fellow citizens. If you are doing this, then you are not qualified for that role. I am so surprised sometimes. I don't know the criteria that we use to elect people in this country. We are all tired of these so-called leaders. I am very, very upset this morning.
Darlington,
on my bed, I've been listening to what Mr. Adesina, the way he answers people.
Darlington,
very, very wrong.
you still haven't asked any question. Do you have a question? Do you have a question?
No, I'm talking to Mr. Adesina.
Okay. You've made your point then. Let's move on very quickly to those who have questions. Hello, good morning to you.
Well, I'm sorry. I
Okay.
also like to tell Darlington that there's another election.
Please hold on. Please, go on, Mr. Adesina.
All right.
You can run.
Okay. Go on.
All right. Good morning.
Position
This
he
is
likes
Daniel
in
from
2023.
Surrey. Okay, so I want to ask, because Mr. President tested negative for coronavirus, and since then, nothing has been heard live from Mr. President. Everything has been pre-recorded, addressed, and Nigerians have to talk and push before this is done. That is one. Is that normal? That's my question. Is there any problem in Aso Rock? Secondly, where exactly is the Vice President? Nobody knows where he is. No public show. He's not stepping up. And on the issue of Abba Kyari and the law guiding medical profession, for instance, Boris Johnson was sick. It was publicized. There was video, there was everything. He was already down. He didn't have the right to issue any statement. He's a public servant. The public had the right to know. Abba Kyari was a public servant, likewise every other government official. They owe Nigerians explanation. So we have to know where they are, what happened, and what is happening. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling me. Mr. Adesina.
Well, he's mixing up a lot of things. Because things are done according to the cultural milieu in which you operate. Boris Johnson tested positive. He must have given an approval for that information to be made public. It couldn't have just been disclosed without his approval. That's what I'm saying. According to medicine, medical practice, Hippocratic oath, you don't go out to say this is what somebody is suffering from without that person's consent. So he can't sit here and be quoting what happened in UK. He doesn't know what happened, whether Boris Johnson approved or not. So Abba Kyari eventually came out to say, this is what I'm suffering from. That settles the matter. So I don't know why people are just turning it into an issue now. Then what else did he raise?
Let's quickly move on because of time, Mr. Adesina. We're running out of time. Let's talk to Sylvester, who is in Baghdad. Sylvester, hi, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning. Hello?
Go on, Sylvester, we're listening to you.
Yes. Now, I wanted to, first of all, commend you for bringing Femi Adesina to us Nigerians to ask him questions and probably get answers. But it looks as if we're actually fighting. It's like a fight we're having on radio with him, which is unfortunate because Nigerians are upset and they have the right to be upset. He's more like a professional, so he should be able to know how to handle people that are angry. That aside, I also wanted to ask this question. Now, I wanted to ask the reason why it's just now that they want to bring up the issue of implementing the
Orasai report.
God bless you. Yes. Why is it now that there's a lot of crisis? We're not even sure of how we're going to manage ourselves as citizens with this social distancing and everything. This is coming up. Is it not coming rather at a time where we have real crisis? Thank you.
All right, Sylvester. Mr. Adesina, very quickly because we're out of time.
Yes, I didn't quite get the question.
It was asking why we want to implement a RSI report now when we have crisis on our hands, basically.
Yes, what is the report meant to achieve? It's meant to reduce government expenditure. So, what time should we reduce government expenditure rather than now? Things are down. Economy is down. Income is down. So this is the time to reduce government expenditure.
Mr. Adesina, thank you so much for joining me on the Morning Crossfire today. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Do have a great day. Lagos, there you go. Mr. Adesina, the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, joining us on the Morning Crossfire today. The conversation continues online. We are not done yet, Lagos. We will go online right now and talk about everything that happened. If you want to watch this show again, go to Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3. You can watch this show again right now, all over from the beginning to the end. Our conversation with Mr. Adesina is right there on Facebook, and watch it again and drop your comments. I can only see engagement on that platform. Be a part of our socials. You can follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM, on Instagram, Nigeria Info FM Lagos. On Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. Dito for YouTube as well. You can follow me as well on all of the socials, all platforms, Facebook, Instagram. Just name it. Don't follow me on WhatsApp. You have to have my number for that one. Well, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook. Sheriff Quadri is my handle. I'll see you online right now to continue engaging with you. You have a fantastic time. Colin Stecker is here with What's Up Lagos. Yeah, he's back. He'll be back after this news. Stay here.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this.